Hi everyone, and thank you so much for coming to another TFT Masterclass. Today we are going to be doing the new patch rundown on the upcoming patch 14.14, which will be the last patch for set 11. So this patch is scheduled to come on July 17th, so that should be this upcoming Wednesday, as I mentioned, is the final patch of these sets. A couple things we're going to go over today, starting off with system changes, mostly going to be a lot of encounter changes, and then moving on to traits and unit changes regarding buffs and nerfs. This will be a pretty fast patch, as this is the very last one, kind of the for fun patch, so keep in mind that a lot of these, or some of these changes are not too impactful, and I'll be going over which ones those are exactly. At the very end, we'll do a recap of the main changes, and then a Q&A for those who are watching this live. So starting off with our system changes, we mainly have large changes to encounters, so I'll be going over them. For a summary, there are now going to be 5 encounters per game. There are going to be more overall resources, so there's going to be more on gold injected into per game. There's on average going to be more items per game, and this means that technically average combat augments should be a lot stronger than econ augments. This is because through encounters you're going to be receiving a lot of either gold or like effective gold, or a lot of items through treasure armories or just some same components. So this means that augments that will be just giving you gold, or like item augments without any additional effects. So like this wouldn't include like not today. This would just be like item grab bag. Those augments will be less stronger because of the resources that will come with the enhanced number of encounters. Not only are there going to be more encounters, but the specific encounters are also going to be giving more rewards as well. So for example, the Kobuko encounter will be giving more rewards, Tristana will be giving more gold, and then Tom Kench will not only be giving just more loot on average, but also will require less fish for his maximum loot reward. Then it shows what the following encounters, or what encounters are more likely to occur. So essentially, as I mentioned, it's all the ones that either give items or some form of effective gold. And the following encounters, such as Ash and Yorick, are going to appear less. So main thing to note, there are now going to be 5 encounters per game, more overall resources, gold, and items injected into per game. This means that combat augments should be stronger than the econ augments that would just give you golden items, because now all players will be receiving that golden items from the encounters. So this is the main thing to note. Boards on average should be stronger, especially endgame boards, because of the added resources in each game per player. So those are the system changes. Moving on to the trait changes now, we have 4 here. So Behemoth, Fortune, Sniper, and Warden are all getting a bit of a change. Behemoth and Warden have now 8 breakpoints, so before they only went up to 6. So 8 Behemoth, the new changes is not only is there a new resistance breakpoint, so now 8 Behemoth will be giving 115 armor and magic resist. This will also increase champion size. Now, technically, champion size does not do that much in the actual game, so I don't think this will be too big of an impact. It's mostly just larger. Like, it actually impacts the hitbox a little bit, or at least the click hitbox when you're trying to move your units around a bit. So that might be a little bit tougher. But the main thing is 8 Behemoth will be giving more armor and magic resist as a new breakpoint. The second one is going to be 8 Warden, and the special effect actually does something here. So not only is there new damage reduction breakpoints, now it's going to be 45% DR for 8 Warden. It will also now reveal upcoming opponents. I'm sure this means this is similar to like a future sight effect, where now you can see who your upcoming opponent is and being able to position against them a lot more efficiently. So I'd definitely be going for the 8 Warden instead of the 8 Behemoth, where just it increased champion size versus who you're going to fight next. So they're the first two. Moving on to Fortune. So Fortune, the previous nerfs to stage 3 base luck have been reverted. So now the stage 3 base luck is going from 2 now to 3, which means you're able to get or hit higher Fortune breakpoints before cashing out. And then also the maximum Fortune cash out luck breakpoint has been lowered. So this is like a super buff, which means you only need to reach 225 to reach the max luck cash out. Most of the time, this is only if you have 7 Fortune. Like there's sometimes some crazy like Ari Kiss, like Tiny Titans, where you are able to hit this, but most of the time it'll just be with 7 Fortune. where if you do cash out, the maximum cash out in this case is now going to be 225. It is an insta win. The very last one is going to be snipers. So with snipers, they have a little bit of a nerf here. This is just I guess like kind of a meme that the dev teams are doing. So they've touched it upon 0.1 for 4 sniper and then 0.3 for 3 sniper. It is still playable. It is definitely not touched that much. Okay, moving on to 1-cost units here, we have 6 changes. So the main changes are going to be to Jax, Malphite, and Yasuo. So Jax here is now going to be casting much more frequently. His mana changed from 20 to 60 to 0 to 40. So having a 40 mana maximum pool means that his uptime on his cast is just going to be much more frequent. So definitely look to like 3-star Jax if you're playing like a reroll Ink Shadow. Definitely a much better unit now. The Kobuko attack speed does not matter that much, even in Lucky Pause, because most of the time he is generating mana through getting hit, and then he has a long cast animation, and then he hits, so his auto attacks don't do anything. Well, a little bit of a buff, that's pretty nice, but still does not do that much. Malphite is actually getting a lot more attack speed here, which will enable you to do your 3-star carry Malphite. I did a little bit of research in this composition. You would want to be going vertical Behemoth because Malphite's damage comes from how much armor he has, and by playing more Behemoth, you will have more resistances, and your build will either be a Rage Blade plus a Bloodthirster, or QS if you already have some form of healing, maybe from augments. But his best is actually a Wit's End as a 3rd item, which is identical to the best in slots Bard build. So definitely look to go for that if you have the spots. Moving on to Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai has a little bit of a buff, going to 10 mana less for her maximum mana, and then also her ability damage to HP ratio has been increased a bit, so dealing more damage based off of how much maximum HP you have. Sivir, this does not affect much anything, having a longer ability duration at your 2 and 3 stars. 2 is pretty nice, however, it's very rare that you're going to be 3-starring Sivir. And then the final last one is the Yasuo shield resistance scaling has been increased. So the more resistance that Yasuo has, the larger his shield is going to be, especially at 3-star, where it is increased by a full 25%. So the main things to note on this slide is Jax, Malphite, and Yasuo have large changes. Jax will be casting more frequently. Malphite is now enabled more as a 3-star 1-cost carry, playing vertical Behemoth and attack speed. And then Yasuo, if you're able to 3-star Yasuo with a Gargoyle, you will be having a larger shield. Moving on to 2-cost here, we only have 2 units, Aatrox and Riven. Aatrox will be healing more on his ability, so actually a pretty decent chunk of more healing based off how much AP he has. And then Riven also has a little bit of a mana change, going from a maximum mana of 25 to 20. What does this mean? It means that compositions that use both of these units or either of these units, especially in reroll, will be stronger. So Aatrox sees a lot of play just as a synergy units, just because of his trace. I mean, same with Riven. This means in like reroll Senna and reroll Ghostly Zoe, also in Bruiser, just in general, we'll be seeing a little bit better performance because Aatrox will now be able to survive a lot longer. And then for Riven, she is teched in into a lot of compositions, and now having a maximum mana of 20 means that items such like, well, she'll just be able to cast more often, and her 3rd cast is the one that matters the most. And then actually one of our very last slides here, so today was a rather fast patch, is going to be the 3-cost unit changes. So Alun's AD has been increased. So for those of you who would want to be trying AD carry Alun, you definitely can try this if you want. Like 15 base AD is nothing to laugh at. One thing to note, remember that Alun has no AD scaling on her ability. It is all magic damage or AP. So it will only be your auto attacks who are doing damage. So I don't really recommend this. Bard and Yone have a little bit of an adjustment, but this does not do anything, so don't worry about that. This is just purely for fun, it looks. And then Diana will have some ability on hit damage, a little bit increased based off of her maximum AP. So that's it. So this was the last patch of set 11. PBE for set 12 will be coming soon. It has been scheduled to be starting around July 16 to 17. So until then, you have a couple options. Either just like take a break and kind of prep for the new set. You can use this last patch to reach your ranked goals. Try to hit like your platinum, your emerald, your masters, even your silver, no matter where you are. and use this last little bit where most people are taking a break for you to like really like rank up and hit your goal. So do whatever you want. The actual set, I believe, is starting around the 24th of July. So remember, it's only PBE, which will be starting around the 16th and 17th, not the actual live servers. And then it looks like it's going to be honey themed. We're not sure, but this is one of the teasers that they sent out. So we'll have to see. Looks pretty exciting. And that's everything for today. So I'll do a quick recap about the patch and then also talk about just strong comps that are still here. So very little changes, only 2 encounters for system changes. Although this is a rather large one. Now each game having 5 encounters, and then each game having a lot more gold and items per game means that just econ augments or augments that give you items without any bonus effects will be less valuable. Whereas if you have combat augments, this will be a lot more effective, combining with that extra gold and with those extra items that you will be getting from your 5 encounters per game. And then we have a couple of trait changes, like the 8 breakpoints creates a new vertical for Behemoth and Warden. So this is pretty exciting, especially if you're able to play 8 Behemoth like Malphite 3 carry. That'd be something crazy. Playing Fortune is a lot easier now. Well, not even easier, but you'll be able to cash out a larger cash out, and that'll help you win, especially starting off of stage 3 where your base luck is increased. And then Sniper has no change at all, essentially. And then we go into the 1, 2, and 3 cost units where Jax casts more often. Malphite, well, Malphite actually is eligible as a 3-star carry with the correct setup with this increase to his attack speed. Going from 0.55 to 0.65 is really large because most of the time only attack speed is only increased by 0.5. And then the Yasuo shield resistance scaling has also been increased. 2 cost units is only to Aatrox and Riven, so playing Vertical Bruisers using both of these units means that Vertical Bruiser will be stronger. Just any composition such as like Ink Shadow Senna reroll or like Ghostly Zoe / Sire reroll will definitely benefit from the Aatrox like bonus healing. And then Riven in general will just be casting more often. I don't know if she'll actually become a carry unless you have like Caretaker's Riven and then somehow get like Gargantuan's Resolve, but being able to cast more often with a lower mana pool is great. And then the very last one, for 3 costs, Alune. You can now do AD Alune if you want. Bard and Yone were not changed at all. And then Diana will deal a little bit more damage on her on hits from her ability at all levels of her kit. So that has been everything. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely leave a comment and like the video if you are interested in this type of content. And next week on Monday, we'll have probably our last set 11 video, and they'll just be talking about like the 5 best comps, or actually there might be a surprise on July 15th, our next video, our last one for set 11, and then hopefully we'll be starting to get into some set 12 content, which I know you're all excited for. I'm excited for as well, and I'm just ready to start a new set. So thanks again for watching, have a great night, and I will see you all next time. Take care.